everyone please take their seats? We're going to get started soon. Good afternoon. I'm Elena, and as Vice Chairman of the Mayor's Teen Council, it's an honor to welcome you to Nampa's State of the City. At this time, the Joint Honor Guard of the Nampa Police and Fire Departments will present the colors, followed by a benediction by longtime Nampa resident and former Canyon County Commissioner David Ferdinand. Please rise for the presentation of colors.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Join me in our opening prayer. Our Father in heaven, we gather today to hear about the blessings we've received as citizens of Nampa. Thank you for giving us strong leadership, police and fire departments, staff and employees of our city. Give them wisdom beyond measure as they complete their daily tasks and provide protection for each one. Father, we offer a special prayer for the Seventh-day Adventist community today as we mourn the passing of Marvin Moore this week. He was editor of Signs of the Times for 26 years, published here in Nampa at Pacific Press. Bind us together as we show them our love. Lord, you have given us a wonderful home beginning years ago with Alexander Duffus. Grant us the spirit of righteousness as we continue to make our hometown the perfect place to live, raise our families, and educate our children. Help us to be thankful for all that you have provided and give us this time to celebrate those blessings. In Jesus' name, amen.
My name is Cadence, and I serve as the chair for Mayor's Teen Council. Thank you again to the Nampa Fire and Police Department for presenting the colors, and thank you to David Ferdinand for his prayer. We would like to thank the many generous sponsors who supported Nampa's State of the City this year. A portion of their donation benefits the Mayor's Teen Council. Our title sponsors are TDS and Republic Services. TDS recently announced they are investing $70 million in Nampa to deploy fiber optic networks for high-speed internet as well as TV and phone plans. Republic Services has been keeping Nampa clean through trash removal for nearly 40 years. Starting next week, Nampa customers can recycle their glass at a drop-off site in Nampa. Republic Services will also be providing new trash cart sizes in January. More information will be available on their website and in your next utility bill. We would also like to thank our presenting sponsors, Browns & Caldwell, St. Alphonsus, Salter Health, and St. Luke's. Thank you to our supporting sponsors, Ellsberg Studios and HDR. We would like to recognize and share our appreciation to the many people who serve on various boards and commissions in the city of Nampa. If you have volunteered or given back to the Nampa community this year, thank you. And if you're interested in serving, please visit our website at cityofnampa.us/serve to learn more. Before Nampa Mayor Debbie Kling speaks, the City of Nampa would like to celebrate Nampa through the years with a video we hope you will enjoy. Thank you.
Nampa was once a pass-through region full of sagebrush as far as the eye could see. In 1885, a man named Alexander Duffus looked upon the desert and saw potential. People surely scoffed at the thought of homesteading in the desert, but Duffus was different. He was determined. He had a vision of what Nampa could be. Duffus decided Nampa would be home. While many would pass by, Duffus chose to invest with his partners from the Nampa Townsite Company, James McGee and James Stewart. September 8, 1886, they filed the plat and articles of incorporation, and the town of Nampa was born. This pioneering spirit, along with a deep faith in God and community, is Nampa's foundation. A can-do attitude, hard work, and resiliency is what built this good place. Nampa already had rail access thanks to the Oregon Short Line Railroad. But if Nampa was going to realize her full potential, she would need water, and lots of it. It wasn't easy getting water to the desert, but once it came, the possibilities were endless. The land was cultivated, and it produced. Sagebrush was replaced by sugar beets, and sheep, cattle, and milk. When troubled times hit Duffus and the Townsite Company, a wealthy miner from Silver City named Colonel William H. Dewey purchased over 2,000 lots in this struggling city. He also built an extravagant hotel called the Dewey Palace. Rather than pass through this desert land, visitors now flocked to the Dewey Palace and this burgeoning city. Nampa grew in popularity, and the Nampa Chamber of Commerce, established in 1892, brought residents and businesses to this young town. As the population grew, so did the need for services: a church, a schoolhouse, and a library, and new city hall. Nampa Police and Fire were started in 1891. Soon after, in the 1900s, came our first hospital, Mercy Medical. And in 1913, a small Christian school, Northwest Nazarene College. Roads grew, and even an airport was created in 1935. civic organizations arose to strengthen community bonds, culture, athletics, industry, and recreation. Downtown Nampa flourished with merchants. Built on faith, a strong communal bond, industry, and hard work, Nampa solidified itself as a community that honored God, loved neighbor, promoted public safety and health, worked hard, and enjoyed recreation and culture. As more and more families called this place home, Nampa grew. The 1990s into the 2000s saw exponential growth, both in population and in community amenities. As our city grew, so did our institutions. Northwest Nazarene University continued to build and thrive, and we also saw the founding of our first community college, the College of Western Idaho. St. Luke's and St. Alphonsus both invested in our community, and industry and commerce grew through the investment of Costco and the Treasure Valley Marketplace, Matern, Sorrento Lactalis, Plexus, On Semiconductor, Autovol, and Amazon, just to name a few. Not only have we continued to grow in manufacturing and commerce, but we continue to lead in agriculture. From apples to applesauce, dairies to cheese, sugar beets into sugar, and seed grown here that feeds the world. Nampa's agricultural economy continues to thrive and grow today. As many communities across our country are facing the challenges of disinvestment and shuttered factories, Nampa proves to be resilient and thriving. Whether it's feeding the world, building homes, or distributing almost every imaginable good, our industry is strong. The state of Nampa's economy is strong. Truly rich soil has led to rich heritage and potential for all. Dufus saw potential. That same vision leads us forward and lives in everyone who calls Nampa home. A pioneer spirit, caring families, love for God, country, and neighbor, hard work. We will be a community that works, serves, lives, eats, educates, and plays. A safe and healthy community where people prosper. Our best days are in front of us. As we honor our past, we're inspired to build an even brighter future as we continue to write the story of Nampa.
Good afternoon and welcome. It's great to see everyone. So I am Debbie Kling, Mayor of the City of Nampa, and I'm honored and humbled to serve as mayor of this great city. I think that we are one of the greatest cities in our country. So our community certainly has grown over these years since it was founded 135 years ago. And you know what? It's fun to watch the video. And with this year being a special year, I thought there is no better way to do a State of the City than to honor our community and our rich heritage. It was impossible to include all the amazing things and the people that have been done over all these years, but hopefully we've provided a small reminder of Nampa's rich heritage. Watching the video reminds us that from our beginnings, water was the key development to our land. Due to our rich soil and heritage, agriculture was and continues to be very important to Nampa. Our community will, actually our country, beyond our community, our entire country will always need food. And from our local sugar beets being turned into sugar products that amalgamated, that opened 75 years ago, to Matern that produces their wonderful varieties of applesauce packets, to the 5.5 million gallons of milk each day, of which 95% is produced right here locally, that goes to Sereno Lactalis to produce amazing cheese, to Nampa's 8 seed companies that produce a variety of seeds that feed the world. And as we think about Nampa's foundation, let's not forget those that came from this community that fought wars and conflicts across the world to protect our freedoms. You know, in our family, it was Grandpa Kling. He served in World War I. And then his son, Jim Kling, served in World War II, along with the many, many graduates of then Nampa High School that left in the 40s to fight for our country. Also, we have a number of others that have served throughout the years and are serving today. And so I would like to say thank you to all that have served our country and our community over the number of years since this community was founded. Let's also not forget the foundation of faith in God that our community and our nation was built upon. We're a community that when we come together, we get things done. Like when the community came together in the 80s to build Centennial Golf Course. Our foundation has been one of caring, where neighbors help neighbors. And our foundation is of strong leadership and the ability to turn vision into reality. As the 28th mayor of the city of Nampa, I am grateful for the faithful work of our first mayor, which was W.J. McClelland in 1901, and to all the mayors over the past centuries and all the others that have served our community. The baton has been passed over the years, and I'm humbled by the confidence of the city to have the high honor of carrying the baton for such a time as this. One day, that baton is going to be passed on. And my goal is that we leave our children and our grandchildren a bright future. We're building upon the past with an eye to the future, to be faithful stewards who make this community even greater by God's grace and His aid. So, as we get started, I would like to say that the state of our city is strong. We have wonderful city employees and excellent leaders in every department. And I would like to say thank you to all of our employees, and a special thank you to my staff. I could not do what I do without their service. I appreciate them. And a special thank you to Amy Bowman for all her help, and she's saying no, but for all of her help to put this State of the City together. You know, it has been a pleasure to work with our city council members. Council President Randy Haverfield gives abundantly of his time and experience to this city, and it is greatly appreciated, Randy. Thank you. Also, our council members, I think they're all seated over here, or maybe some here. Victor Rodriguez, Darrell Bruner, Jean Munchie, Sandy Levi, and Jacob Bauer are also dedicated servants to this community. And as I've said many times, we don't always agree, but we respect one another. It has been a pleasure and an honor to serve alongside our city council. Thank you for your service. Okay, so, yep. We're going to start today talking about COVID. Not our favorite topic, but it would be the elephant in the room if we didn't talk about it. And actually, over the last 18 months, we've had some amazing work that has been done that I would like to acknowledge. So I want to begin by acknowledging everyone that has lost a family member or a friend to this virus. Our hearts and our prayers are with you. COVID has undoubtedly impacted our lives, and when it first appeared last year, it felt like forward motion paused due to the work associated with the tremendous disruption due to the pandemic. While we're still dealing with COVID today, I'm very proud of the work that has been done over the past 18 months. Thank you to our city employees for their commitment to continue to serve our city, wanting to keep our community safe as they serve. We will be forever grateful to all who stepped up to serve during the initial months of COVID. Nampa Ready is the name given to the city's emergency response efforts, which can range from a pandemic to power outages or any challenge or crisis that might arise. Nampa Ready also includes a group of people and organizations coming together to respond to the needs of our community in crisis. They met weekly online to address health and wellness, food access, housing, and business continuity in the Nampa community. They worked quietly and efficiently behind the scenes to provide for our community. Nampa's fire chief, Kirk Carpenter, in partnership with St. Luke's, pulled together regular communication between our elderly and assisted living facilities, the state, and the hospitals regarding where to send COVID patients when they were diagnosed. This communication is continuing to take place. And I want to say a special thank you to Cascadia for their commitment to find solutions during this challenging time. The city of Nampa has been partnering with the Idaho Food Bank to help distribute nearly 900,000 pounds of food over the past 16 months. This would not have been possible without the hundreds of volunteers that took time out of their busy day to help others. And it was also organized by the city's emergency response team. The Boys and Girls Club of Nampa also stepped up in a big way. Between March and May of last year, the Boys and Girls Club served curbside grab-and-go meals to 400 to 500 kids a day. Overall, they served approximately 18,000 meals. And the Nampa Senior Center, they provided to-go meals as well. I want to say thank you to the many volunteers that made this possible. We also helped with the help of many volunteers in the Nampa Public Library. We helped distribute over 2,000 books that have been donated from the Book It Forward for kids at our Nampa parks. And I'd also like to say the Idaho Press has been a key partner since day one. They created the Safe at Home Guide, which provided valuable information, a removable paper sign that people could put in their window to quickly communicate to neighbors if they needed help. The leadership of Matt Davison continues to be valued as we move through this second phase of the pandemic. You know, some great things have come out of these challenging times, and one of those is the creation of the Hispanic Latino Task Force that continues to collaborate on ways to ensure that information and resources are available to our Hispanic community. And then supporting our businesses during COVID has been extremely important. We appreciated the partnership with the Nampa Chamber of Commerce as they stepped up with wonderful training and discussion forums to help businesses walk through the challenges they faced. In partnership with the city, they distributed masks to a number of small businesses. Economic and Community Development team held regular seminars to help the businesses face their challenges. And in addition to the state and federal grants that were available, the city made available $500,000 in grants to further support our small businesses. We also met regularly with the community of faith leaders during the pandemic to make sure that the information and available resources were shared with as many people as possible. We formed a health advisory task force to help guide us through those early days. And I would like to thank St. Luke's and St. Alphonsus, Salter Health, Primary Health, and the long-term care facilities for their participation and guidance as we stepped in early into this pandemic. And another great thing that came during this challenging time was the new checkout window at the Nampa Public Library. It is such a great addition that we're going to enjoy for years to come. And Nampa's first bookmobile is going to be launched in the summer of '22. It's going to hold up to 3,000 items, provide technology and programming and opportunities, and also serve as a Wi-Fi hotspot. And personally, I'm excited because I grew up with a bookmobile, and I think it's going to be such a wonderful asset to our community. Needless to say, the pandemic has been extremely challenging for everyone. Those in leadership had to make difficult decisions. And today, as it was during the first round of COVID, I strongly encourage all in our community to respect each other and do what they can do to protect someone else from this virus that has cost way too many lives. For those that have lost loved ones or friends, my heart goes out to you. So while we exercise personal liberty, we must also exercise personal responsibility. So please do your part to prevent the spread. And last but very important, I would like to thank our frontline healthcare workers that have worked under some of the most challenging times. Words cannot express how much we appreciate your sacrifice. We're thankful for you and for your tireless efforts to save lives. You know, it is challenging to balance needs and expectations of the city, its aging infrastructure, and property taxes. We are accountable. I want our community to know that we are accountable for every tax dollar that we spend. The past couple of years, we have created extensive community outreach to build trust and transparency about where and why we are spending your hard-earned dollars. The majority of our budget goes, and this is our tax budget, goes to support public safety and infrastructure. Fiscal stewardship is a priority. By state statute, municipalities are allowed to take a 3% increase in their budget each year. Nampa has been fiscally conservative. We have over $6 million that we have not taken, which could have been in our annual budget today. We have done our best to stretch every dollar, and I want to thank the City of Nampa employees for their stewardship. Nampa has been recognized nationally for the last 5 years as a well-run city based primarily on our fiscal stewardship. Nampa's levy has continued to go down each year, and unfortunately, increased values have caused our taxes to continue to go up. We will continue to work with our legislators on comprehensive and collaborative tax reform. Our shift in tax has caused a greater burden to fall on our residential property owners. While the homeowner's exemption increased from $100,000 to $125,000, our home values have skyrocketed. The increased valuations have made it difficult for many to attain needed housing. The solution isn't something that Nampa can solve alone. I appreciate our legislators who are listening and working with us to provide relief to our citizens. And our community has grown over the years. What's interesting, so we've grown from 799 to in 1900 to just over 100,000 today. But what is interesting related to that growth is that according to the census, between 1990 and 2000, we grew by over 23,000 people. Between 2000 and 2010, we grew just short of 30,000. And then 2010 to 20, the most recent census, we only grew 18,600. The official census indicates that Nampa is a city of 100,200 people, and we will be updating our census signs soon. So 50 years ago, in 1971, the city limits of Nampa spanned 5,389 acres. Today, we have 22,206 acres. And then again, in 71, Nampa was responsible for 79 miles of sewer lines and 33 miles of water lines. Today, our teams manage nearly 450 miles of sewer lines and 613 miles of water line for our customers. Thank you to our employees that are available around the clock to provide these vital services to our community. Recently, we've had more water main breaks than we had in prior years. And our guys are out there, whether it's the middle of the night or freezing cold temperatures or in the heavy traffic, out getting those mains fixed quickly so we can resume our lives. And I greatly appreciate our employees for doing that. So many in our community have expressed concern over growth, and they're saying we're growing too fast. Well, growth isn't necessarily bad, but we have to do it well. So 4 goals for growth are to grow wisely, that growth should fund growth, and that we need to preserve the quality of life that we have experienced in our community. And we need to continue to preserve and be mindful of our agricultural lands. So we've developed a fiscal impact analysis to ensure that potential projects pay their way, as growth does need to fund growth. We're also going to be conducting an analysis of all businesses, service sector, commercial, retail, industrial, manufacturing, to see if we have the right mix of business in our community. We also will be identifying and tracking our available housing and the housing needs for those working in our local jobs based on the wages that are provided. For Nampa to be a city where we can live, work, and play, we want our citizens to have the services, jobs, and housing that we need for our citizens. And conducting an inventory of our assets that's gonna help us grow wisely. There's been a lot of talk about affordable housing, and it's important, but I would like to say we need to have attainable housing for all, for our children, for our grandchildren, for those that are looking to invest and own their own home. We've got to figure out how to have attainable housing for everyone. So we have heard, and most agree, that growth needs to fund growth. So what have we done about that? Impact fees are fees that are charged to new development to help pay their fair share of the growth. The fees can only be used for approved capital improvement projects as recommended by the Impact Advisory Committee, then approved by City Council and governed by and in keeping with the Idaho State Statute. The impact fees are dedicated to fire, police, parks, and streets. And I want to take a minute to thank our Impact Fee Advisory Committee who helped evaluate and update our impact fees and capital improvement plan. And as you can see from this graph, we are collecting more in impact fees today than we ever have in the history of our city. We use those dollars collected from the impact fees to pay for a number of street improvement projects and that we have planned out for a number of years to come. The Impact Advisory Committee is meeting again currently to examine our current impact fees based upon our growth needs. And then related to preserving our quality of life, one of the things that we have determined that as new developments come into our city, we're requiring more amenities in those developments than previously required. We're requiring 15% open green space, areas to play, tot lots for kids, and safe paths to walk on and connectivity of our pathways. We want our community to be a place where people desire to live for years to come. And regarding the preservation of ag ground, for many years, I have been an advocate for our agricultural heritage. I had the honor of serving as president of the Nampa Chamber, and during that time helped start the first Ag Forum back in 2014 to bring awareness to the importance of agriculture to our local economy. And what we have done is, as we've updated our future land use map through our comprehensive master plan, we're also working with Canyon County and others across the Treasure Valley to identify ways that we can collaboratively identify solutions to protect this valuable asset. Nampa seed companies do feed the world, and sprawling development consumes our ag ground. Let's move to our focus areas of safety, infrastructure, and economic opportunity. So these focus areas were identified by you, our community. You've shared feedback over the last several years via our community surveys. And you know what? Your feedback does matter. One of the things that our community has said is that public safety is their #1 priority. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank the men and women who both serve as first responders and also those who lead and support our first responders. Many of them are sitting, a few of them right here. Thank you. Thank you. The Nampa Police Department, which was established as a one-person department back in 1891, has grown to 132 officers today. We've added 24 officers in the past 4 years. And with 132 officers, we're finally back up to the staffing that was budgeted back in 2009, but was never achieved. Starting October 1, the Nampa Police Department will move to 140 sworn officers. I am so proud of our Nampa Police Department, as they have implemented a policing system called CompStat, with a goal to increase efficiencies and lower crime, and that they did. Since CompStat began in 2018, crime has significantly decreased, even while our population has increased. Burglaries and homicide are down, and there are over 1,200 fewer victims of violent crimes since 2018. The addition of staffing and implementation of CompStat is leading to a safer community. We value the critical work of our police department and will continue to do all we can to back the blue in Nampa. And I have to say, I am so thankful that I get to serve alongside a city council that shares in that commitment and belief, so thank you. Since 2005, the Nampa Family Justice Center has served over 43,000 adults and over 19,000 children suffering from family violence. And unfortunately, each year, there are more served than the previous year. They provide a safe location for victims to receive multiple services, confidentially under one roof. Nampa is extremely blessed to have the Nampa Family Justice Center in our community. Tomorrow marks the beginning of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I invite our entire community to stand with me against domestic violence in Nampa. Now moving to fire. Also in 1891, our fire department was formed by city ordinance. The department was all volunteer at that time, until in 1909 when we had an entire city block burn. From that time forward, they have been fully staffed, well staffed by full-time paid firefighters, and today we have 97 firefighters and 5 fire stations. With a focus on safety, a considerable change was made this year with the consolidation of the City of Nampa Fire into the Nampa Fire District. With the increased response times, as you can see on this slide, and the fact that we have been unable to fund a 6th fire station for over 10 years, and considering the need for sustainability and safety for our citizens, we approved and began the transition to the Nampa Fire District, which will be fully implemented on January 1 of 22. Fire Station 6 is expected to break ground in the spring of 22 and to open in the spring of 23 off of Roosevelt. We will be voting on new fire district commissioners in November when we move from 3 to 5 commissioners. All decisions related to fire service will be done by the 5 fire district commissioners, and we encourage our community to get out and vote and share your ideas with our fire district commissioners. And while talking about public safety, I don't want to forget the paramedics who are provided through Canyon County. We value and appreciate that partnership. And I would like to pause and say thank you to all of our first responders for all they have done to go above and beyond and for their continued service to our community. The second focus area that our community identified was a focus on infrastructure. Infrastructure, literally, is the foundation of our community and is a priority for the next generation. Our Public Works Department has 4 divisions: transportation, which includes our airport, water and wastewater, engineering, and environmental compliance. Nampa is the largest full-service city in the state of Idaho. We're the 3rd largest in population, but our 2 neighboring cities with larger populations don't handle streets or stormwater. One item I think every community struggles with is maintaining our roadways. We know it's a critical infrastructure priority for our residents and our businesses. So the city of Nampa is divided into 7 asset management zones. And the infrastructure above and below the ground is examined and replaced as needed and budget allows on a rotating basis. And we have been blessed with several improvements recently in our transportation system. The first one being Northside Interchange. I want to thank ITD for their work and the collaboration with the City of Nampa to make significant improvements to the Northside Interchange. We look forward to completing the landscaping this next spring, and it is a wonderful and safe addition that we needed in our community. Also, the Middleton Road overpass was recently completed by ITD, and it's part of a multi-million-dollar investment to improve I-84 in the Treasure Valley. Within Nampa, we have some intersection improvements, one of which at Lone Star and Middleton Road was recently completed, and it helps improve the safety for students walking to Lone Star Middle School, as well as improve traffic flow along Middleton Road. And for those that live in the area of Holly and Colorado, I'm sure you're enjoying the completion of that intersection as I am. The city has also replaced aerial sewers and culverts in various locations across the city. And I know that not everyone likes it, but chip sealing is an inexpensive maintenance activity that adds 5 to 7 years to the life of pavement. And in the last couple of years, our streets team has nearly doubled the amount of roadway chip that they have sealed, including subdivisions. And I have to say, riding on that machine with our streets team, it is so complex and intricate, and I am so amazed at the work that is done by our streets team. And stewardship, the care that they take for that equipment, it takes hours to clean those oil machines, but they do it faithfully and do a phenomenal job. And they exercise the stewardship that we talk about. Nampa does have a funding deficit. Our funding deficit is $14 million each year for street improvements. So right now we're reviewing potential legislative options, and we're going to continue to focus on grants to fund many of our roadway projects. Funding roads out of property tax dollars puts an added burden on our citizens, and we want to reduce that. We will continue to focus and improve connectivity and traffic flow throughout Nampa. We are moving forward with a long-awaited study for the realignment of Idaho 45 to help reroute traffic around downtown. And we will soon see Idaho 16 under development in Northeast Nampa. We advocated for a southbound exit to be included in the design, and it will be years before we see this, but I appreciate the fact that ITD actually accommodated the southbound in their design, and I appreciate, again, our partnership on these projects. Another area that we need to focus on is safe routes to school. You know what? We need to protect our kids with safer routes to school. We have many areas, as you can see from this photo, of kids walking on the side of busy roads without sidewalks and no protective barriers. It is a priority to identify funding to make these necessary improvements, and in the coming years, this is going to be a high priority for me to see that we get this done. Let's move to water, wastewater specifically. So the Nampa wastewater treatment plant was first constructed in 1948, and it has experienced a number of upgrades since that time. Due to EPA requirements and for total phosphorus and temperature requirements, we have a federal mandate to meet those requirements by 2025. We have a state revolving fund loan of $165 million approved by Nampa citizens in May of 2018 to help fund those upgrades. I would like to take a minute to thank our Nampa Wastewater Advisory Committee for their commitment to assist in the oversight of the wastewater treatment plant improvements. The team that we put together to help walk alongside was to ensure that our citizens knew that we were being good stewards, that we were making the best decisions possible. And I see Matt with Brandon Caldwell out here, and who's been a key individual in this whole project. And it's taken a lot of people, and I just want to say thank you. It's not an easy project, it's a big project, but it's necessary and good. So thank you. We've also begun a reuse permit process with the hope to use approximately 11 million gallons that we discharge from our wastewater treatment plant every single day. We're going to turn that into Class A water, which is highly treated and safe for its use, for a number of future uses, including our pressurized irrigation systems by 2026. So our wastewater treatment plant team also they've received a number of awards. They've done such an amazing job. It was so many that we had a hard time filling them in one page, and I would like to say congratulations to them. And then our water team, we're almost done with the automated reader installation. So once completed, our team will have installed 33,000 new automated water meters. So you see the guy's picture laying down on the ground. As I spent time with them out there, they have to put their hands down in those holes, and they have spiders in them, and they can't use any chemicals. I am so amazed at the work that they do day in and day out getting this done. So I'm so proud again of our team for their work. Thank you. Okay, so let's move to Parks and Pathways. Just a few weeks ago, Ora Brandt Park celebrated the opening of its playground, thanks to impact fees. So it's a universal playground which allows fun for people of all abilities. And I have to say, when we showed up at that playground, it was full of all those kids already playing. It was so cool. They're so excited for that playground to be there. Some of you may remember my first State of the City when we asked a few of our youth what they thought we needed. And you know what they said? Splash pads. And I just want to say I'm excited that Ora Brandt Park is going to have a splash pad coming next summer. And that's not all. Our Midway Park is also funded by impact fees, and it's going to begin construction next summer and fall on phase 2, and it's going to include basketball courts, futsal courts, outdoor fitness gym, soccer fields, additional parking, and plans to construct another splash pad, hopefully to open in 2023. So over the next couple of years, Nampa will have 2 splash pads available to our entire community. And beyond our beautiful Wilson pathway, our parks team has been busy with additions across the city. The Stoddard pathway is a Rails to Trails project currently underway. Once completed, It will have 2 miles of developed pathway connecting South Nampa to the downtown. It's going to be a safe place to walk and ride your bike. It's going to be beautiful. Also, our parks team has recently helped create a connection on the Indian Creek pathway near Sugar Street and Taffy. And then we also have great improvements to the Grimes pathway. Many of you will remember when we had 3 Idaho National Guard soldiers who were killed in a Black Hawk crash earlier this year. One of those soldiers, Matthew Peltzer of Nampa, died during that routine training mission. To honor Chief Warrant Officer Matthew Peltzer, last month the City Council approved a resolution naming the future trailhead at 920 Lakeville Avenue, the Matthew Peltzer Trailhead. Chief Warrant Officer Matthew Peltzer's wife, Heidi, shared with us that Matthew loved green space and biking. He biked regularly 18 miles from Nampa to Gowan Field, and he took their daughters on the green belt nearly every day. Heidi shared how special it will be for them to see this area named in his honor. This picture that you see here is going to incorporate parking so that when people want to take the Wilson pathway there, they can drive to the location, get on their bike. We're going to beautify the area, and it's going to be a wonderful addition to our community. Another great addition, and in celebration of their anniversary, AARP decided to gift an outdoor fitness gym to every state. And Lupe Whistle, the state director for AARP Idaho, initiated an effort to place Idaho's fitness gym right here in Nampa. Just a few weeks ago, their 53rd Fit Lot opened. It's located across from Lakeview Park, just across 16th Avenue. I would encourage all of our residents to go check it out. And I want to say thank you to the American Association of Retired Persons for their wonderful gift to our community. It's really awesome. This year, also, our Public Works team, led by Environmental Compliance Division, coordinated with our Parks Department to open a rain garden. And it's located at Lakeview Park. The rain garden had been in the works since 2016 and pays tribute to Cheryl Jenkins, a former environmental compliance superintendent who started the educational rain garden project, but she passed away from cancer before seeing it completed. The next time you're at Lakeview Park, stop by to learn about ways to avoid stormwater pollution. And another thing coming next summer, I hope you'll join me at the groundbreaking for Nampa's second dog park. It is going to be totally amazing, 9.5 acres, and I'm so excited I have a dog and I get to go enjoy it now. Otherwise, I was just going to go because it's going to be amazing. And then, just recently, this month, the Nampa City Council approved a resolution to rename the Nampa Rec Center to the Harward Recreation Center to honor former Nampa City Finance Director Ken Harward. A citizens committee formed to pursue this recognition and shared an impressive list of accomplishments, which I would encourage you to read more about on our website. So now let's focus on our third area, which is economic opportunity. Infrastructure expansion births economic expansion. Nampa's general obligation bond, which is close to being paid off, funded the necessary sewer improvements to the marketplace area. That resulted in Costco and a number of other national businesses to locate in that area. It also funded the King's Overpass, which is critical to moving traffic in that Amity, right across there, back then and now. But as we think about economic opportunity, another important area are average incomes. And I want to say that our minimum wage has gone up. Our household incomes have gone up, and the percentage of our population in poverty has gone down. And actually, right now, we have more jobs almost than we have people to fill them. I think we all see those signs up, help wanted, right? I'm not sure where everyone went, right? After the pandemic, it's like, where did everybody go? So, but we have great jobs coming into our community. So as we celebrate economic growth, though, and we're going to talk about some new businesses, Let's not forget the many existing businesses that make up the core of our community, including many that you may or may not know of, such as Wood Grain Millworks, the AIM Corporation, Franz Bakery, Pacific Press Publishing, and the many, many small businesses we have here in our community. 4 out of 5 of our businesses are small businesses, and small business is the backbone of our community. So on to the new businesses coming in. Fuller 84. Bow River Capital Partners has launched a 60-acre, 2-phase master-planned industrial business park in Nampa, and it's located across the street from the Amazon Distribution Center. And I'm excited to say that Gardner Company has purchased the Gateway Center off of the Garrity exit. They are excited to bring vibrancy to the Nampa Gateway Center with a mix of light industrial, retail, and residential uses. And they look forward to redeveloping the site into something that the Nampa community can be proud of. I'm thrilled. It's about time we see a change there. So I'm excited and thankful that the Gardner Company is willing to invest and make this change in our community. We have a 194-acre industrial park going in, and this is in North Nampa. Adler Industries is doing this. It's north of the Treasure Valley Marketplace area. This shovel-ready piece of property has the potential to bring, again, hundreds of well-paying jobs to our community. And we look forward to an exciting announcement in the near future about who's going to be occupying this space. The developer for District 208, known to most of us as the former Karcher Mall, recently shared that they have 4 major retailers ready to lease that property, and they're ready to start construction on 250 apartments this fall. And then our airport. Our airport is vital to our economy and quality of life here, and it contributes over $106 million to the state economy. And our goal is to be a premier small airport in the Northwest. The world headquarters for Mission Aviation Fellowship is located there. We know it as MAF. And I just want to say I am so thankful that when they were looking to relocate their national headquarters, that they decided to place it here in Nampa. And also the Warhawk Air Museum, when they decided to come and locate here in Nampa, they are so important to our community in remembering the sacrifice that has taken place so we get to enjoy the freedoms that we do today. The airport also has 4 aero clubs, 4 aircraft maintenance shops, 3 flight schools, aircraft sales, and a popular local restaurant that many of us know, the Tower Grill. So we recently completed the airport master plan, and we're currently working on a business and sustainability plan, which includes a vision for a new terminal, which this is a rendering of where we want to go. If anyone would like to donate, I think I'm not sure how much we need, but a lot. But we will be looking for some support to figure out how to fund that. And we also need to construct new airport hangars because we have a current waiting list. So as they say, a mile of freeway can take you a mile of runway can take you to the world. Let's talk about our community development block grants. You know what, we have celebrated a variety of accomplishments that range from rent and utility assistance to home repair loan program, our senior services and housing, and the Americans with Disabilities sidewalk and pedestrian improvements and playground improvements, among many others. I want to say thank you to our team that works on our CDBG program. You may have noticed some improvements to downtown Nampa. By partnering with private companies, the city's CDBG program actually was able to help fund the extension of the sidewalk on First Street South in downtown to help revitalize that historic area and provide outside dining. And that's something that our community has desired. Downtown Nampa is the heartbeat of our community, or as some would say, it's the living room of our community. Several of our downtown businesses are actually expanding. Holy Cow is expanding, the Lifestyle Cafe is expanding their menu, and that we've learned that another ice cream store is going to be coming to downtown. You know what, while there's still more to do, we're getting better, and I look forward to where we're going in our downtown. Nampa is part of a national Main Street program, And we now have a board consisting of dedicated community leaders in place to help guide the economic vitality, promotion, and events in our downtown. And I'm excited to see what our future holds. I also appreciate Kevin Daniels with his work with the National Main Street Program. They established the Kevin and Mary Daniels Fund, and that fund was funded by people all across this nation in his honor. And I appreciate Kevin's continuing to give back to our community. And this fund actually helps support local small businesses with grants or loans for their businesses where there's a need. And last but not least, internally, we've hired a Senior Director of Development Services, Cliff Long, to bring continuity between our planning and zoning, economic development, and our building department. Our focus is a gold standard for customer service to ensure our departments are connecting and providing the service that our community deserves. So today, I've shared a lot. That's because there is a lot happening in our community. A lot of work is being done. And as I close, I want to say that I heard from Garrett Nancolis, the Caldwell mayor, and I'd like to announce that I'm going to join him and our Canyon County commissioners in calling our community to pray for an end to our drought. So we'll be doing a proclamation that I'll put before Monday night so that we can join together as a community to pray for water and for rain. And I have to say, I am thankful for that one day of rain that we just had. It was awesome. But let's join together in asking the Lord to provide the water that we're going to need this coming year. So our goal is to be a safe and healthy community where people prosper. But it takes us all working together to get there. So in looking back, Duffus looked at the challenges, and instead he saw potential and he pursued it. This represents the American spirit. There's opportunity and potential in this great land because we believe in the God-given potential of each person to make a difference and to leave a legacy. I believe that the greatness of our city is determined by you, the people. I see the potential, and actually unlimited potential, for what our children and our grandchildren can become, and what our great city can become if we stay true to the Nampa spirit of faith, family, perseverance, and hard work. From our foundation to our future, Nampa continues to be a community of unity with hope. Even through some difficult and conflicting times, we must hold firm to our foundational values and virtues to ensure that we have a strong future. As I close, I would like to say, the state of the city of Nampa is strong, and the state of our future is stronger if we stay united. It's a community coming together that makes a city. And your voice does matter, and we need to continue to hear from our community. I'd like to say thank you for joining me today. May God bless the city of Nampa, and may God bless the future of Nampa. Thank you. Today. There's cookies and water. Thank you. And coffee. Thank you.